با توجه به یک ویدیوی دیگر می‌تواند قدری به فهم این جریان تازه و بسیار با اهمیت دختری جوان که حجاب از سر برداشت پر از نکته و بسیار با اهمیت دختری جوان که حجاب از سر برداشته با زنی میانسال
Like, it's so. Wait, by the way, one thing about this type of behavior, okay? For a lot of very religious women in Iran, it's not enough that they have this entire black chador on, okay, that makes them fully covered. When they're talking, they keep using their hand to cover their face for extra coverage, okay? I don't understand. Then why don't you have Iranians don't have, what is it called? What is that face covering called? God damn it! Why am I forgetting? What is that face covering called that Muslim women have? They don't have it that much in Iran. It's like very rare. Like they have it in some places, but most of the time they don't. Like I didn't see any of that until I went to Dubai and like as a kid, I saw it first time when I left Iran, the face covering, in an Arabic country, and I was like, why are these women's face covered? Okay, so in Iran, you're not used to it. If you're really religious, you just put this up and you cover your face like that. Okay, yeah, niqab. Yeah, sorry, the niqab. Yes, thank you. Qasim, had you ever seen a niqab in Iran? I have never seen it in Iran, anywhere in Iran. I know that I've seen it on video in some places in Iran, but never in my personal experience. I never come across somebody with niqab. But now that I think about it, it doesn't make any sense. Why do you keep covering your face with one hand? Why not have a niqab? If you have to cover your face, just like, is it because you look Arab if you wear a niqab? Is it like too frowned upon because you look like Arabic? But they have to. One of your hands becomes completely useless if you keep having to cover your face with using your hand. So Qasim has also seen it by saying yes, but very rare. Like, is it trying to are you trying to not look like you're a foreigner by like wearing a niqab? Is that the reason? Because it makes logical sense to wear the niqab so that your hands are free. Yeah.
که چادر بر سر و قرآن در دست دارد و معتقد است دختر جوان به دلیل بی‌حجابی گناهکار است.
All right, so this is going to be actually pretty cool. This is going to be funny as well. Qasim is saying the niqab is more common in south parts of Iran where Arabs are living. Exactly. Like, city boys and girls usually don't go to other places in Iran. Okay, they don't go to these other cities. Like they're like, I mean, at least that's how it was perceived. These are a lot of young upper class Iranians consider these other places to be backwards, beneath them to visit such places. Okay, so you don't see it. You don't see that there are people in Iran that actually do wear. It's very rare, but there are existing places in Iran that they wear the niqab. And even if they do wear the niqab, it's closer to the Arab parts, right? The niqab is seen more as something that maybe Arabs do, but not Iran. Like, again, see, like I almost said Iranians because of the conception that if you're an Arab Iranian, are you really Iranian? You know what I mean? Like, now that has become better recently. That has become a little bit better recently. Like, those views are less for two reasons. First, because of the cultural influence that Enlightenment views is having on Iran. Like, more people are seeing anti-Arab views as racism, so that's a good thing that is growing in Iran. Not very good yet, but it's still growing. Another thing is that more recently, many of the anti-Islamic Republic protests comes from Arab majority provinces, right? And the other Iranians who are secular and anti-Islamic Republic, they want to support any kind of movement that is against the government. So these people who used anti-government movements used to be associated with nationalism, and nationalist people were also people who were kind of anti-Arab a little bit, some of them, right? Well, not a little bit, a lot. but now their common hatred for the government is making more anti-government people accept Arabs and be like, oh, these are our fellow Iranian citizens and stuff like that. Okay, so that's progress, I guess, right? But I still think, I'm guessing, I could be completely wrong, one reason why women in Iran don't wear the niqab is because of its association with Arab culture. And this is a guess, it could be completely wrong. Yeah, no one. Yeah, it's not like that no one wears a niqab. It's just like you don't see it, especially in main cities, you know. Yeah, kind of like an enemy of my enemy situation. And again, it's very interesting because there are some pro-regime people who make fun of anti-regime people for supporting the Arabic provinces uprising, or even Sistan Baluchistan's uprising against the government. And they come by lines of saying, I thought you guys were secular. What happened? Like, look, and they looked at some of the demographics in these Arab places or Sunni places, and they're like, these are actually more religious than these people. Like, the average people here are even more religious than us, and you're supporting them. What happened to your liberals and secular ways? What they don't understand is that liberalism and secularism doesn't mean that we force our ways upon people who are religious, right? Like, if people want to be religious personally, we support their rights to, right? Like, it's not like, you know, in like secular people, the future that they want for Iran, at least the ones that we support here, are the ones who are not going to outlaw Islam or something like that. They're just going to make it easy for everybody to just live the way they want, as long as they're not violating other people's rights. Anyways, we're getting off topic. Wait, so there's a question here. How Arab is Iranian Arab? Is it just having Arab as their mother language, or is it also culture and identity, or as Arab as their mother tongue? No, it's also cultural and identity. Yeah, it's also culture and identity. It's kind of complicated actually. Anyways, let's watch this video.
دختر استدلال مذهبی زن را نمیپذیرد و آنقدر با او بحث میکند تا سرانجام زن او را به پول گرفتن برای این رفتار و این حرفها متهم میکند.
Ooh, they're saying the same thing in the first video. This a similar theme to what we saw before. Let's watch this. So this is on a bus, okay? So this is very similar to the previous video that we watched. And there's this liberal woman, and she's like, it's becoming a habit now for more liberal women, so to take out their phone and start recording as soon as one of these more religious women starts lecturing them about how immodest they are and how bad is their hijab, right? So their phones have become their weapons, right? They were like, you know, a lot of them know when you see somebody, a religious woman, coming and meddling in how covered you are, you record it. That's what they do now. So this woman is saying, wait, what was the initial thing?
میکند تا سرانجام زن او را به پول گرفتن برای این رفتار و این حرفها متهم میکند.
Okay, so the translation doesn't have the initial part. She was saying, my dear, like, cover up, wear your hijab properly, and the liberal woman who's probably recording is responding, how I dress is none of your business.
برای این رفتار و این حرفها.
I think it's not translating the conservative woman. Okay, I'm going to go on single speed because I want to make sure I understand what the conservative woman is saying, because it's not being translated. She's saying, okay, so this is not being translated, but I heard her. The conservative woman is like saying this way, like basically you not having a proper hijab, it's a sin. So she's saying it's a sin. And okay, so this is, it's saying pro-regime, amazing. It's saying pro-regime woman. I like how the video is also just accepting that if you're a conservative religious person, you're pro-regime. Like it goes back to what I was referring to earlier. This theme is being constantly repeated. Okay, and it's very interesting because this translation is happening by White Wednesdays by Masih Ali-Najjar's organization, right? So they are just going with that narrative as well, right? Like pro-regime woman. Like you don't even have to say anything in favor of the regime for you to be labeled as a regime, pro-regime, as long as you are conservative or you're telling people to cover up, you are pro-regime, a pro-regime woman. You see, like right here at the bottom of the video, it says pro-regime woman, right? Oh yeah, actually, they did translate it. The way you dress is sinful. Okay. And the more liberal woman is responding, I'll face the consequences of my sin. None of your business. Actually, the translation is not accurate. The translation is okay. The translation is not accurate. The actual translation is like, if it's a sin, I like to sin. It's none of your business. Who translated this? My translation is more correct. What the hell? She didn't say if I'll face the consequences of my sin. Hey, White Wednesdays, are you trying to translate this in a way that is more acceptable by religious people outside of Iran? That is not nice. She didn't say I'll face the consequences of my sin. She said I like to sin. Did they translate it differently because some people might not like the fact that this woman said I like to sin? Yeah, see, Qasim is agreeing with my translation. Are they trying to whitewash the liberal woman? Are they trying to whitewash anti-Islamism and atheism? Like, yeah, hey, White Wednesdays, if you're watching this is not Masih Ali-Najjar. Tell your people that this is not an accurate translation. Don't dismiss us anti-Islam people. This woman is saying, I like to sin. She's not saying, I'll face the consequences of my sin. They're whitewashing it. They're making it seem less, depraved or something, which is, no, we like it. We like to say it. Yeah, I'm pro sin. We like to sin. Exactly. Look here. This person is also saying, Hakim is saying, I also like to sin. Yes. Qasim is saying, I love sin. I love sin as well. But put a better Masih Ali-Najjar, don't put, what is this? Don't change what she's saying to make it more acceptable. Tell it like it is, exactly. The hell? Now I'm not going to read now I have to actually pay more attention to see if the translation is accurate. Okay, now the religious woman is saying Imam Zaman, which means the Mahdi in Shia Islam. Okay, she didn't even get to finish. She was going to start talking something about the Mahdi in Shia Islam, and the liberal woman just cuts her off and saying, okay, the translation is accurate. She's saying, who the hell is like, obviously she knows who Imam Zaman is, but she's like saying, basically she's saying, who gives a crap about Imam Zaman? Who gives a crap about Mahdi? She's completely anti-Islam. Like, this is not like, these are a lot of these liberal women that you see in these videos, like a lot of religious people, a lot of people who want to make it seem like it's less anti-Islamic. They might want to portray it as they are anti-Islamic Republic of Iran, but not maybe anti-religious. But they be anti-religious. They are like, most of them seem to be like, a lot of them seem to have such hatred for like conservatism, and some of them for Islam, and some of them seem to hate religion as a whole. Like, and we shouldn't whitewash that when they seem like that. Okay, so she's saying, the religious woman is saying, Astaghfirullah, and they're translating that as repent. I don't think that is the good translation. Astaghfirullah is like, I take refuge in, oh yeah, Astaghfirullah. Here's a good translation. Qasim, you have to be impressed with my translation. I take refuge in Allah's protection. Take refuge in Allah's protection. I think that's what it means. It doesn't mean repent.
Poor Baba.
Okay, so Boro Baba, they translate it as get a life. I think Boro Baba's better translation would be get out of here. Get out of here. I think that's a better translation. Qasim is saying yes. That was a good translation. Yes. Okay, so Qasim is saying the religious woman was going to say Imam Zaman doesn't like the way you dress, and the liberal woman was like, who I don't give a basically I don't give a crap about Imam Zaman. Or yeah, get away, yeah. So Troll is saying, could the mistranslation be because I like to sin will inevitably be misunderstood by people not privy to Iranian rhetoric against the regime? No, I don't think so. I think this is not an Iranian culture. I think people outside of Iran could relate. Like, how is this an Iranian culture? This is okay. So the things that are mostly like only within Iranian culture, I provide the context so more people understand it. But this is international. A religious person telling you that this is a sin, and you responding to them, "Well, I like to sin." I don't think this is something that you need to understand. I think, people who used to have a Christian background and now they left religion, I think they could completely relate to that. So they could completely understand why you would say that respond like that to a religious person who's telling you that this is a sin. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you need any cultural context to relate to that. You were saying no. Astaghfirullah means I ask atonement from Allah. Astaghfirullah. No, you say Astaghfirullah min ash-shaytanir rajim. No, okay. Soha is the Arab translator here for us. Hakim is here as well. Astaghfirullah. Doesn't that mean I seek protection from Allah? Does it mean I seek atonement from Allah, or does it mean I seek protection from Allah? So Hakim is saying, I am ex-Muslim and I don't even know who he is. Because you're ex-Sunni. That's why you don't know who he is. So you know who the Mahdi is, right? Hakim, right? Al-Hakim. You know who Mahdi is. So in Shia Islam, the 12th Imam is the Mahdi, and his name is Imam Zaman. In Iran, his name is Imam Zaman. Okay, so it's basically the 12th Imam, which is the Mahdi version of Shia Islam. Oh, Astaghfir means forgive. Okay, so Yuval was correct. It means I seek atonement or forgiveness from Allah. Okay, so Yuval was more correct with his translation than mine. Wow, good job, Yuval. Yuval is not even ex-Muslim, and he's good job, Yuval. Oh yeah, Soha is confirming. Yeah, okay, Soha is also Arab here, so she knows. She's saying it is asking for forgiveness. Yuval was correct. You say A'udhu. Yes, you're right. Yes, I'm confusing Astaghfirullah with A'udhu Billah. You are so correct, Yuval. How are you this good at Arabic? I am so impressed. Good, amazing. I am so impressed with Yuval. I have no amazing. You have like an Israeli Jewish person is so good. Like, I am so impressed. How are you this good in Arabic? You must be Mossad. You've been trained. You are Mossad. You just, this is not good. Now you just you expose yourself.
Baba.
Get it, life. Okay, so now the religious woman responds, "Oh no, are you serious? She's saying you'll suffer during the doomsday, at the end of time, judgment day, not doomsday, judgment day." No, that's not what she's saying.
Poor Baba.
No, I think that what I heard, Qasim, if you correct me if I'm wrong, what she's saying is that, dear God, I think she said Khodaya, oh God, she's talking to God. Do these people not believe in Judgment Day? That's what I heard. Is that what you heard, Qasim? She said خدایا روز قیامتم قبول ندارن اینا, which I think that's what I heard. I don't know if that's what she said. So that translation, so this says that the subtitle says you'll suffer during doomsday, but what the actual translation is, oh God, do these people not believe in judgment day? Yeah, she's talking to God. Yeah, she said خدایا. So to me that means that she was talking to God. Isn't that a better translation? No, Yuval Soha is saying Soha, she's Arab and she speaks Arabic, and she's telling, look at this. We have our Arab followers are telling our Jewish followers, good job in their Arabic understanding. This is so beautiful. Qasim saying, yes, she said they don't believe it. Yeah, exactly. So my translation was correct. So the liberal woman responds, who the hell are you? Like, who are you to tell us what to do? Who are you? Basically, so she said, who are you? But what she actually means is like, who gave you the authority to be our judge? That's what she keeps saying, who are you? Who the hell are you? And she's saying, it's none of your business. Like, what business this is of yours, what we're wearing? Oh, now, okay, the liberal woman took it too far a bit. Hold on. So, okay, so there's part of this that wasn't translated. The conservative woman responded by saying, I am somebody like you. And like the liberal woman said, why is this a business of yours? And then the religious, okay, so this part was translation. So translated. The part that wasn't translated was the part where the conservative woman said, I am somebody just like you. But this part, now she said, so she's saying I am a human, but I think what she actually said is I'm just a human. And I think that, okay, the liberal woman here is taking it too far. I do not endorse this, okay? The liberal woman said, no, you're not a human. Okay, this is dehumanizing. I do not endorse this. This is horrible. Okay, this is not good. I do not accept this. This is not the right way to respond. She's saying, no, you're not a human. This is completely dehumanizing. I do not accept this. I do not think this is right. What do you guys think? Is this too far? Yeah, it is too far. What am I even asking? She talked to God. Yeah, okay, so that translation before was correct. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like telling people that they're not human. And the religious person is responding to the liberal woman and telling her to be polite. Like, why are you being so rude? Guys, yeah, agree. Like, tell me you agree with me on this. Like this is bad. I do not like this. Okay, I mean, she shouldn't be meddling with you and telling you. Here's another thing. Okay, let's have some sympathy for the religious woman as well. Okay, because it's wrong to meddle in people's lives. But my guess is that they don't really want to. My guess is that they are being told that they have to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of these religious people know that if they tell these younger women who are not covering up, it's not going to be received well. And they're going to hate it. And they're going to respond badly. And this is going to be a bad experience for them. And the religious women, I think, know that this is going to ruin their day. They're going to feel hated. Okay? But I think they have been brainwashed to have been told that you have to do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. When you see people not following Islam properly, you are also not following Islam properly if you don't tell them. Like, you are not doing your religious, like if you see a woman without proper hijab in front of you and then you don't speak out, you are sinning. You have not obeyed Allah. So I feel bad even for the religious woman, because I think like maybe she feels like she has no choice. God is watching and this is her duty and she has to do it. Okay? So I do want to sympathize not just with the liberal woman who's somebody's meddling in their life and telling them what to wear. I also want to somewhat sympathize with also the religious woman who has to be hated like this because she thinks that she's doing what she has to do. You know? I don't even know. Yes, exactly. It's Amr b'Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. It's a religious duty in Islam. It's actually a Quranic command. It's even beyond hadith. It's in the Quran. You are saying she thinks she is saving her and feels committed for that. I'm not sure, Yuval. I think like it's more like it's her duty. It's not like I'm again, this is completely guessing. I can't read people's mind. This is just my guess, okay? I think it's more about it doesn't, even if it works or if it doesn't work, it's just something you have to do. You have to say it because Allah is watching. And if you don't say anything, you're like, this woman committed a sin by not wearing her hijab properly, and you also committed a sin by not doing Amr b'Ma'ruf while you saw it. You watched it and you said nothing, right? So I mean, I think like we should have a little bit more sympathy for the religious woman, I think. And I think telling somebody that they're not human is completely uncalled for. But Qasim is saying, it's not easy to talk reasonable in such a situation. I totally understand the liberal lady. Yes, it's hard to just sit here like me as somebody. I'm not like an Iranian woman in Iran having to suffer from this Islamic regime and just sitting here judging, the liberal. I know it's not that easy. Okay, I can't be that judgmental from the liberal lady's side as well. Like, I mean, I can because I'm sitting from a position of privilege and safety, and I could do that. I could be like, well, it's wrong, but it's explainable, but I don't want my explanation to be justification, right? So I understand the explanation. The explanation is that these people, the liberal lady, is so frustrated for having more. Not only do you have to deal with the moral police, you have to deal with every religious person that the government has legally accepts their position as their own personal moral police. Do you know what I mean? Like if somebody is the government even recognize, because the government has to recognize this commandment by the Quran as the Amr b'Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Legally, if somebody is meddling in your life because you're not being Islamic enough, the government has to take off the side of the meddler, because that position, that vigilante justice, has to be recognized because it's Islamic, right? And this is really frustrating as somebody, especially women living in Iran, especially members of the LGBT community, because there's eyes everywhere. There are meddlers everywhere. Even when the government forces are not visible, even then you have to deal with civilian moral police, because this is such a commandment. So it's so frustrating. And maybe if I'm in her position, I would say like stuff like her as well. All right, maybe I would. But again, I understand this is hypocritical coming from me, that doesn't experience some stuff like this. But I do think that even with all that explanation, I will still condemn calling somebody not a human. I still say that's wrong. I understand that seems rich coming from somebody that doesn't have to pay the cost, somebody that hasn't suffered. But I still do it. I will still condemn calling somebody not a human. It's not good. There's a guy saying Islam says be in everyone's business. It does. It literally does. It's a Quranic command. Terrell is saying, in short, Islam is inhumane. Okay. It makes people say and do stupid things. Well, that's religion for you. Most of them are not enough to be okay, wait, no. It's like, okay, come on. Let's not talk about what people's looks. Let's not judge how people yeah. Okay, come on, guys. I'm not gonna highlight that. Oh my gosh, she's repeating that she's not human. This is bad. YouTube, I'm not dehumanizing everybody. We are reviewing somebody who is, okay? Just to be clear to YouTube. Okay, so the religious woman, let me see what the action.
ادب داشته باش. آخه تو انسان نیستی. آخه مرگ رو نمیفهمی. مرگ نیست. اینقدر جوونا که به ذره هستن دارن ترجمه.
She's saying, do you not understand? So my translation is that have you not seen, do you not see death?
آخه مرگ رو نمیفهمی.
Do you not understand death? And she's saying she might not understand. She thinks that maybe because she's young, she's not afraid of death, because religious Muslims constantly want to remind you of death and judgment day, and the fact that you will be judged after death, okay, for your sins, right? So this is a constant theme in Islam, okay? So the religious woman is saying, do you not understand death? And another understanding is that people who are young, they might sin more because death is so far away that they're not afraid of afterlife, right? So they're not putting this in the subtitle, but this is what she's saying. What she's saying, maybe the reason why this is not in the subtitle because it would be too complicated for, I don't know, foreigners. She's saying, have you not seen in Behesh Zahra? Behesh Zahra is the most famous, it's the largest graveyard in Iran. It's a graveyard in Tehran, right? Close to Tehran. It's the biggest graveyard in Iran. Like, basically, do you not see how many young people are dead in Behesh Zahra? Like, basically, go visit the graveyard. She's suggesting her to remind herself that many people who are underground, many people who are dead, died young, right? So she's reminding her that death could be near, that Allah's judgment could be around the corner any day. Like, don't feel that you're secure from death just because you're young. I remember when I was in school in Iran, there were, during the Ashura ceremonies where you're supposed to cry for Hussein, for the death of Hussein, you're supposed to cry, right? Everybody's supposed to cry for the martyrdom of Hussein. And our religion teacher was like, some Muslims are so bad, such uncaring Muslims, that even though they're old, you watch them during Ashura and they're laughing and they're making jokes instead of crying, even though they're old. Like, the suggestion is that if you're old, you should be more you could die, you're so close to death, and you're not taking Islam seriously even though you're old, right? So this is what a religion, like, even there were these old people who were laughing during Ashura and saying jokes to each other. And then you see good Muslims that even though they're young, they're crying their eyes out. Their eyes are filled with tears. They're so distressed, like a good Muslim is supposed to be like during Ashura, even though they're young. So the constant, because they know death could come at them any moment, anytime. You could, nobody knows when you die. Just because you're young, you shouldn't be so mindless and sin all the time, thinking that you could repent one day and be a good Muslim, because maybe you open the door and right around the corner a car is going to, or maybe with this disease that is going everywhere, especially. Oh yeah, I think this is also what this woman is saying, is also the reference to this whole disease that is going around, which I'm not going to name, and how many graves are being filled with young people because of it, right? I think this is a reference to that as well. Let me see if anybody has it, maybe Qasim or anybody has a different interpretation. May I actually play it a little bit more just to see?
ادب داشته باش. آخه تو انسان نیستی. آخه مرگ رو نمیفهمی. مرگ نیست. اینقدر جوونا که به ذره هستن دارن ترجمه.
So there's so many young people in Behesh Zahra. Basically, she's saying there's so many young people beneath the ground. Okay. I think the translation is wrong here as well. Okay, I will go back to what the liberal woman said, but let me see what you people are saying what you guys are saying in the live chat. So is saying no one can say she is not human, as a human is a species. Yeah, of course. Humane, on the other hand, yeah, maybe humane would be a better way to say. May mean that the person, yeah, but she didn't say you're not humane. She said you're not human. That's what she said. Yes, there's a hadith. Hakim is saying there's a hadith who's saying that whoever sees the hadith that says that you have to there's a Quranic verses about Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar which tells you to meddle in people's lives, but there's also a hadith that tells you that is more specific about how you're supposed to do it. And it says that if your tongue doesn't work, basically if speech doesn't work, then you could use your hand, which is just a suggestion that you could get violent. The hadith, this Islamic scripture is suggesting that if you tell people to be Islamic and they don't listen, you could become more violent in the way that you suggest that they should become more Islamic. Okay, and this is what this hadith was referring to, and that's the hadith that Biden read in his speech to the CARE organization in the United States, not knowing what this hadith actually means, thinking that this is a hadith that is just saying that, oh, we have to encourage good things and discourage bad things. But no, what the hadith actually meant is that you have to encourage Islamic things and discourage un-Islamic things with your tongue, but if the tongue doesn't work, with violence if necessary. That's what that hadith was referring to. And Biden was reading that as to celebrate Islam, not knowing what it actually meant. Reminds me of the Quranic verse that Obama read in Congress, not knowing what, thinking that that Quranic verse was suggesting that something is peaceful. Remember when Obama read in Congress that in Islam, the Quran says that if you kill one person, it's like killing all mankind, not knowing that that specific verse was a law that Allah was supposed to have given to the Israelites, but the verse after it was a specific law, but the verse right after it was talking about a verse that was general to all Muslims now, telling you that you're supposed to crucify whoever is spreading corruption on earth, which is basically talking about people like me, right? Like they're saying Obama was reciting by quoting a verse in the Quran as if it's saying that the Quran is against killing people, not knowing that the verse right after is telling you to crucify anybody who's spreading corruption on earth. Anyways, and you know what their definition of corruption is. Okay, I'm just gonna highlight this one. I'm not gonna read it. Let me see. Yuval's okay. Okay. I mean, he's old. Can you blame him, Yuval? He's old. I feel sorry for him. He shouldn't be doing what he's doing right now. He should go to school. But his administration is pretty good. Yeah, exactly. So I was saying, yeah, it's exactly the same hadith as that Biden said. All right, let's continue. Oh, here's the hadith for anybody who wants to go look it up. Thank you, Joel. So now she said, go look at the graveyard, see how many people are dead, young people are dead. Okay, this translation is wrong. So the liberal woman is saying, so the translation that they have here, I want to live like this till I die. That is the wrong translation. Who is working as a translator for White Wednesday? Who is working there? Hey, White Wednesdays, maybe talk to me, like reach out to me. Like I will, like maybe I could review these for you. I think the best translation for this is I choose life over death. She's not saying I want to live like this till I die. She's saying I choose life over death. And I think what she is referring to is that you religious people are obsessed with death and afterlife while we live, right? Like we choose the side of life. You guys are like the Islamic obsession with doing everything for the afterlife. You guys are worried about everything after your death while we're worried about things before we die. We choose life, you choose death. You're on the side of death and we're on the side of life. Something like that. Awesome. Isn't that a more reflection of what she's saying? She's not saying I want to live like this till I die. She said I rather live than die. That's the literal translation, but the actual interpretation is I choose life over death. Not as in choose life, I don't want to die, as in I am while you are worried about life after. Here's the best translation. The best translation is like, while you worry about life after death, I am concerned about life before death. That's what the best translation is, I think. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that a better translation than what you have here? And it's so much more beautiful. That is so much more poetic and beautiful. What she's saying is so much more poetic and meaningful than what the translation here is suggesting. Oh yeah, Soha is bringing us the translation of that hadith that Biden read, and these people here are also referring to. The hadith says, whoever sees an evil, let him change it with his hand. Oh, actually, I was wrong. The hand comes first. And if he's not able to, then with his tongue. Oh yeah, I remember this. The hand comes first before the tongue. And if he is not able to do so, then with his heart. And that is the weakest of faith. Guys, by the way, this hadith by itself is not the command to the Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. This hadith is basically a citation of the Quranic verse that commands Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. What hadith is supposed to do is the type of structure that adds to the Quranic verses to show how obeying Quranic verses looks like in real life. Okay? So this hadith is basically adding to that by saying that you have to start with you have to use your hand. This is I can't believe that this is the hadith that Biden was reading as if this is a good thing. Like when it says hand, then tongue, and then heart, that means get physical. When you're physical first, use your tongue if you're not able to get physical. Oh my God. Like if you could get physical in making sure people are obeying Islam, get physical. But if it's not within your means, like this woman doesn't have enough body strength, for example, then like if you're a man and you see like some immodest people in the street, then you know what to do, right? But if you're a man, you can't like touch, like, yeah, I saw some examples of like not maybe touching women because you can't touch them, right? But anyways, I'm not gonna get into too much detail. But I saw a man that was being more aggressive, like, anyways. But if you can't, use your tongue, right? Yeah, this woman is on the second level. It's on the tongue level. But if you like, how would the heart version work? I think the heart version would be just like pray for them. Just be like, I can't use my hand. I can't say anything in this situation. I'm just going to be like, God, please guide them to the right path. And that's the weakest one. That's the most weakest one. Like if you could use your hand and your tongue, you were supposed to use your hand or your tongue. Okay. So this is like, don't just pray for them. That's not. You actually have to enforce the laws of Islam. Okay, here Qasim has a good translation. Qasim is saying my translation is closer. So good. So I did a good job. What does CW mean? Think about death and its consequences. Okay, so basically the conservative woman is saying, think about death and its consequences. Think about Judgment Day. And the liberal lady is saying, I prefer to think about life rather than die. No, rather than death. Yeah, I'd rather think about life rather than death. Yeah, okay, yeah, death, exactly. Yeah, so that was my interpretation. Awesome. Both of our translation was better than whoever is doing translation for White Wednesdays. Somebody tell Masih Ali Najat to come watch this. This is not good translation. Yes, hand is first in the hadith. Violence comes first. Again, I can't believe Biden actually read this hadith scripture, as if it was a good thing. Like he had no clue. It's amazing that the people who work for CARE, like the CARE organization in the United States, which is an Islamic organization, these are like liberal lefty Muslims in the United States. The people who gave Biden this hadith to read, those Muslims, they probably thought that this hadith was like a good things are good, bad things are bad type of hadith as well, right? Like they thought like this is like a lovey-dovey, oh, good is good, bad is bad hadith. Like they didn't, I don't think the lefty liberal American Muslims, a lot of them actually understand hadith as well. Yeah, actually, that's Troll is saying sounds like Muslims stole a bit from a Kama Sutra. First with hand, then with your tongue. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I prefer this interpretation more than all of them. Troll. Okay. Yeah, White Wednesdays translators suck. Again, no insult to White Wednesdays because they do. Masih Alinejad, and she does really good activism. Like, I support her. These translations suck. Oh yeah, Soha is confirming the part of the hadith that is saying that finally, if you can't do anything else, do it with your heart. That part. By the way, for people who don't know, Soha is Arab and she speaks fluent Arabic. So she's saying, yes, the heart means pray for them, as in if all else fails, just ask Allah to intervene. Awesome. Okay. And like, oh, why are you filming me? Okay. She's like, okay, so she's saying like, you're meddling. Why are you meddling in me? I can do this. If you could meddle, basically, if you could meddle in what I'm wearing, I could record you. Like, if you could meddle in my life, why can't I record you? So I do whatever I want. Why do you interfere? I don't think. Okay. No, she says. Okay, so the order is wrong. She didn't say I do whatever I want. Why do you interfere? See, even the order being wrong makes it look different. She said why do you interfere came first, and then she said I do whatever I want. She's not saying I do whatever I want. She's saying I can do this given that you're interfering in my life, right? So she's justifying her recording of her because this conservative woman is basically meddling in what she's wearing. So if you change the order, it's more justified than what she said. The conservative woman is saying, "Oh, name drop. They all know who's gonna where these videos going. God, this is so badass. This is like, look, nothing. I don't know if these conservative women, every time they say like, oh, I know you're sending this to Masih. Do you know how big of a promotion this is for Masih Alinejad? When you're showing that, when everybody, like, again, say my name. Masih Alinejad should be like, say my name. And, and like, they all recognize that she's the leader in all of this activism against all of this conservative fuckery, right? Like, this is like, okay, so the religious woman is saying Masih gives you money so that you take our videos like this. Okay, again, always the accusation of you're getting paid for this. Like, I don't know if Masih is paying all of these liberal women to record these things. She must be sitting on so much cash if that's the case. This is the common accusation in Iran. Like, oh, I don't like what you do, so somebody evil must be paying you. And they think like they think Masih is like literally Satan. Okay, but this is so good. Again, somebody needs to do a compilation of all of these religious people in Iran. Every time they're being recorded for something like this, every time they say Masih, they mention Masih Alinejad, there needs to be a cutscene to Masih's face with Walter White's voice, say my name. And then after it, like, that's right. Yeah, every single time. Somebody make that video. Somebody make that compilation. Oh my god. Oh my god, the conservative woman is so full of crap. Like, Masih gave you money. Masih gave you money to record this. She's repeating that. Oh yeah, Masih Alinejad, she's wiring money into your accounts. So yeah, she say I feel sorry for you. She's like, yes, they get money. Why would they record me if they don't get money? She's okay. Why are those parts not being translated? That was funny. Like, why would she record me if she's not getting money? Wait, why is that part not being translated? Is Masih Alinejad? No, it is someone. Oh no, okay, some of it was translated. I got worried. I was like, is Messi Ali Najad's organization not translating the part that says that she's accusing them of getting money? But no, it wasn't. She's saying, the liberal woman is saying, if we were paid to be like this, there wouldn't be this many beggars in this country. No, I think I think the better translation would be, if we were actually getting money for doing stuff like this, the situation of our country wouldn't be this poor. I think that would be a better translation. Anyways, that was that. All right, so we were here for almost 3 hours, so you should cut it here. Oh, thank you so much. We got a super sticker. Thank you, cool. That's very nice. Thank you for the super sticker. We haven't got that. We haven't got any of that for a while, so I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. Let me just answer this and then go. Troll is saying, with the fact of the conservative woman knowing about Masih Ali-Najad not indicating that she has been following Masih, sounds haram. I mean, that's kind of funny, but not really, because the regime has shows and programs against Masih Ali-Najad, warning people about the evils of Masih Ali-Najad. Like, she has been on national TV. So there's that.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.